What is up, diecast collectors? This is 9446 Network, back with another diecast review. Today, we are going to be looking at Christopher Bell's 2022 Rheem Toyota Camry for Joe Gibbs Racing. And this car has a pretty interesting story to this one, so it's storytelling time, you guys. Very interesting story about this one. Number one, it is a carryover paint scheme from last year, with some slight changes. And the next story is that this car actually does not have the chrome numbers on this diecast, nor does it have it anymore on the actual car. This car did have chrome numbers for a little bit of a short period of time, but those chrome numbers is something that kind of slowly went away. And one interesting fact about this car has a lot of decals not on the side of the car. And the reason why is because this paint scheme was released way before he got those other sponsors, which would be Yahoo, and what was the other one? There's another sponsor I'm thinking of, Watts, whatever the name of that sponsor is. He got a whole bunch of other sponsors that unfortunately could not make it on this diecast because of how early this one was released in terms of their releasing schedule, from what I know. So that's why this car is going to have some things that are not as accurate anymore as they used to, but without any of that in the way, it's still a nice looking car. But that is going to be an interesting story when we get to the number on the side, which we'll get to that in a minute after we get to the main points. So you got number 20 right there, got Toyota Camry, Joe Gibbs right there, you got Rheem, Christopher Bell. And Christopher Bell is a really highly talented driver. I'm going to give him that. So you got Sunoco right there, Goodyear NASCAR Cup Series, number 20. Christopher Bell, Rheem.com. Toyota, Interstate Batteries, JD Gibbs, SK, Rudd, TRD. And of course, you got the DeWalt logo right there. Got a little paint chip right there on under the tail light. See, we got back here, we got an anniversary logo for Rheem in the back. There's a Rheem anniversary logo on this car. You got Toyota Camry, Rheem.com, TRD, Toyota, 20. You have Siemens, Mobile One. You got a logo that I cannot quite read. You got Lincoln Welders, Mac Tools, the Sherwin-Williams, Strata says, and Sports Clips, Bell, and Rheem.com. And this is where I'm going to start reviewing the paint scheme, but we always look at the numbers first. We always try to look at the numbers first. Get the black outline, the red outline, and the white number fill in. And of course, it's pretty much that same idea on the side. But the numbers are not chrome. And yes, this car did run with chrome numbers, and the DeWalt car had the chrome numbers. But for the diecast, they gave us a decaled chrome number, which is interesting. If you guys remember the Trackhouse promo car, that car also had these type of numbers. These weird decaled. It's almost like a custom diecast. It looks like somebody got on like Photopea or something and actually took the number and did a chrome backdrop. They went on Google and they searched up a backdrop that said chrome effect or whatever, and they just clipping masked it and clipping masked the chrome effect onto the white number 20. This thing, they did not do that foil technique. They just did it within the template. They did a clipping mask or whatever they're doing to get that number on there, which is really interesting. I'm not sure why they didn't do the chrome. Maybe this was released, this render came before the DeWalt car. That's more than likely why this car does not have the chrome numbers on it. But they are meant to be chrome. That's why the decal is made to look like that, as it had the chrome numbers. For the paint scheme itself, you have it all black. Right there, the front of it is a black splitter, black spoiler, and of course the red goes across the sides of the OEM details and then around the OEM details around the front quarters with the white outline around the hood, and it just goes all across the side, that whole white stripe. And of course the side of it has the nice looking stripes. They just spike and just, they're shot across the car, just straight across. It goes up to the rear quarter panel, and that's about where it stops. And of course, the long one in the middle just stops at the biofuel and the tail light right there. That's where it stops. But it's really nice. The bold white outline, it's just a really sharp looking car. It's the sharpness of it, it's the simplicity of it. This is what you get when you come up with a car that's simple, but it's also got a really nice detailed graphics to it. And he didn't even have to try that hard, guys. It's a very simple paint scheme. Color graphics are fairly basic, but they look really good. The black and red and white. The white, black, and red seems to be a common color scheme, you guys. And this car has it on here, so that's really cool. Rheem.com in the middle looks interesting. They did not go for a stretched Rheem logo. That is because the new number placements. You got the very interesting sponsors on there. You got the SK and the Rudd, which Rudd and Rheem are related. That's why they're on the same car. But without further ado, I think it's time we try to do ourselves a comparison. I don't really do a lot of these, but I had this car close to me for this review. That's why I am going to show you guys the car. And as you guys can tell, last year was a pretty hard quality diecast. Because look at the front end of that. Look at the headlight on that, and then look at the headlight on this one. So we definitely have a better looking... So I definitely got a chance of having a better looking model of this car. So as you guys can tell, looks really good compared to last year. Now that I think of it, the 2022 actually has a crooked Toyota logo in the middle. But at least the headlights are lined up. So when you compare them, not a fair comparison because Lionel has inconsistent quality. But the arrangement of the paint scheme and the design, very similar cars here. I'm going to stack them up here. It'll be a little easier. Now that's what they're running, the all white numbers. They changed this chrome to all white. So now you won't have chrome numbers on this car anymore, which is kind of sad because the chrome number looked good on this Rheem car. And that means it might be different for next year as well. So that's going to be unfortunate. But the white numbers didn't look that bad either, so it's not really a big deal. But the sides, the only difference I could point out is on the Gen 6, due to the roof lines, it's a lot different. That's why there's a white outline. It just stops at the NASCAR race car. This one just goes all across the windows, the side windows. Last year just completely stopped where it was. And now it just goes all the way around. It's an extra white line that looks really good. I actually like it. Everything else is the same on the side though besides that. Except the sponsor arrangements are going to obviously be very different. Here's the back of it. The stripe actually completely stops on the next gen car. It just stops at the upper tail light right there. This one actually continued all the way across. And of course, these cars don't have side skirts on them, so you no longer have that side skirt stripe you see on the 2021. And here's the back. Now it's all black. And of course, this was not an anniversary car. This one here is an anniversary car. That logo right there, so you've got some collectible value to that. And of course, the last year's Camry from 2017 to 2021 was an XSE trim Camry. These are the TRD, so of course you have the nice looking side skirts, which fun fact, on the street car, these side skirts and these little arrow bits are actually a metallic, blackish, bluish, metallic-y color, which is actually really cool if you think about it. It gives it some depth to this car. And they only make 6,000 street cars of the Toyota Camry TRD, so it's definitely a marketable, collectible model that's being represented here. So this car is not just a copy and paste of the 2017 car that ran from 2017 to 2021. Yeah, it has the same front end, but of course it did not have the performance trim represented. So very cool, you guys. So you guys a 360 view. So you got the front of the car. Here's the hood, here's the right side, here's the back, here's the left side, or the back, the deck lid, the roof, the left side, the other side is the right side, and the chassis of this car. And Christopher Bell, I gotta say, guys, you know, he's a really good driver. He's a nice kid. I don't see him doing anything too obnoxious compared to the other Toyota drivers. And to be honest with you, Christopher Bell is probably the most respectable driver right now, in my opinion, for the Toyota drivers. You know, he's a lot more mature than the other ones, in my opinion. Yours might vary. That could change, though, because, after all, he is driving for Joe Gibbs and TRD, but, you know, Christopher Bell, He's really one of those generational talents. He is pretty much Toyota's Kyle Larson, and he is going to really, really do some big things in the future. He's gotten all the way to the round of 8 this year, so really, really cool right there. I know a few Christopher Bell fans. There's not many of them out there as far as I know, but I'm telling you, if you're rooting for Christopher Bell, you got a pretty good driver. So, there you go. That is all I got to say about Christopher Bell. I've been dying to bring that up about Christopher Bell, because I feel like he's kind of becoming quite an underrated driver. So, let's give him the praise he deserves as a part of this diecast review right here. So, I'm just going to go throw that out there. About Christopher Bell, so it's a good thing. So thank you guys for checking this one out. Oh yeah, by the way guys, that Yahoo car is the best Toyota paint scheme ever, in my opinion. I cannot wait for that diecast to come out. I really hope it comes out, because that is the best, probably one of the best diecasts to get for me this year, man. I love that car. It's purple, and it's just, Christopher Bell is starting to get some pretty unbelievably beautiful cars. It's starting to get there. He's gotten to that point where he's at Joe Gibbs. He's going to have some beautiful paint schemes. And it's just going to be an awesome thing. So, thank you guys for checking this one out. Comment, like, and subscribe. And we will see you guys in the next diecast review. And always remember to make sure you know what you're doing when you're putting the decals on your diecast.